Journey started from living in a very dysfunctional home.
Mm.
Lots of raging, lots of just craziness. And I was blessed to be able to have a big backyard with nature. And so nature really became my refuge. I would spend my time, I mean, literally hours on my belly watching little ants crawl around and putting little bits of food or whatever in their pathway to see what they would do with it.
Hi there, Soulful Mama. Welcome to the Soul Care Mom podcast. I'm Catherine Wilde of soulcaremom.com. I'm a mom of 3 amazing kids, a soul care mom coach, and a yoga and meditation teacher. I've helped hundreds of women, and I'm here to help you feel calm and find your unshakable confidence as a mom. If you're ready to stop living in survival mode and you're ready to drop the mom guilt and overwhelm, this podcast is for you. Think of this as a lunch date with a girlfriend. Grab a cup of tea and get cozy. It's time to get honest and vulnerable and shift the traditional mindset around motherhood. Be sure to subscribe to be the first to know when new episodes are released. Get ready to grow and feel empowered as a mom. I'm here for you, Mama. Let's get started. Hi, love. So I know you are going to love this conversation with my guest, Anandamayi Baker. She is an incredible soul. We talked about everything from nature to gratitude to mindfulness and breath techniques, how to help our children to stay connected to themselves, to the truth of who they are, to help them to stay calm even when life feels bumpy, and how we as parents get to nurture them on this journey as well as be a part of all of this magic of leaning into the wonder of nature and of the miracles that we are. So if you are looking to help your child with anxiety or difficult situations, or maybe you're struggling with screen time, no matter what you're going through in this season as a parent with your child, this episode has some amazing takeaways, some amazing practices that will help you to more deeply connect with your child, more deeply connect with yourself, and help your child to do the same. And you're going to get a bit of a bonus story time here too, because Anandamayi also shares a bit of her book, Becoming Strong, this empowering story of a little bee who overcomes some big fears and learns some really powerful mindfulness tools along the way. So settle in and enjoy this conversation. Hi, Anandamayi. I'm so happy you're here.
Catherine, it's a joy for me to be here. I mean, really, I've been looking forward to this.
Oh, same. And I am so excited to dive into your beautiful book. My girls and I read it together. But first, I would just love to hear a little bit about your journey and how you came to write the book.
Okay, I'll try to be brief. My journey started from living in a very dysfunctional home.
Mm.
Lots of raging, lots of just craziness. And I was blessed to be able to have a big backyard with nature and with a grandfather who turned me on to all kinds of things with nature. And so nature really became my refuge. I would spend my time, I mean, literally hours on my belly watching little ants crawl around and putting little bits of food or whatever in their pathway to see what they would do with it. And playing with frogs, rescuing tadpoles, hugging trees, because outside I felt safe. And it was I didn't realize it, like consciously how deeply calming it was for me. And so nature is a huge part of my life. I mean, I had to have 3 knee operations when I was in high school, so I never recovered really the strength in my knees. So it's not like I'm a huge hiker and I'm out in nature that way. I'm with nature in a very small but dedicated, and I try to be as alert as I can to it because nature's incredible, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. So I went from a very dysfunctional family life. I made a lot of mistakes because I didn't like myself. I didn't feel any self-worth. I didn't feel like my life was worth anything. And so I made a lot of bad choices. Oh my gosh. And got myself into like some real trouble at times, but it seemed like spirit was always saying, okay, let's pull her over here, get her out of that bad one. But anyway, so I went to college and got a degree in community development and race relations, but I could never really find my way through it all to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. And so I did a lot of different things. And then in 1985, I was blessed to have been brought to the Yoga Center of California and a master yogi, Ramakrishna Ananda, which was the biggest miracle in my life because through the science of yoga, the ancient science of yoga, and being given the great grace of having a living, realized yoga master to work with and learning how to meditate, not just the postures, but learning how to meditate and to still the mind, even a little, I was able to see, oh no, my life it's not meaningless. It's like it's everything. Spirit lives within all of us, within everything. And so it totally shifted everything within me. So fast forward to I was living on Palomar Mountain. The yoga center has a retreat site. Well, I had a retreat site up there, but we have a store and a restaurant up there. So I was working up there for the store and restaurant on behalf of the yoga center. And when I would meditate outside, okay, it was in a field of mustard, the little yellow flowers. Mustard was all over Palomar Mountain. So I'd meditate outside, and bees would walk around the palms of my hands while I was meditating, and it was so dear. And it would happen literally almost every time I meditated outside. It was wondrous. And so, but what happened was I'd go to work and for a while, we had a water fountain outside of the restaurant, and bees would come and try to drink water. And if kids were there, they would scream and run and flail their arms, which of course freaks out bees. I thought, oh, if only children could know the experience that I have, or just to be able to see nature, see bees in a deeper way. And that was the other thing that I see more and more as time goes on. We're all connected to our devices. We're like this instead of looking at nature, which is, the greatest device ever created. When you think about it like that. And so I just wanted to put all those kind of elements together and hopefully enable children to become more calm, more connected with themselves, with nature, to be more curious and observant, and to have the parents that are reading along with their children be able to glean a lot of ways that they too can become calm and do that with their children. And in fact, I've had caregivers or parents or grandparents tell me, you know what? My daughter told me, remember to breathe. Remember what Jazianza told you, breathe. It's like, oh, so that's what I want. And that's what I really want for the whole planet because I think you said it in a podcast I was listening to of yours that if we just take that moment to breathe and be present, we're given a whole new life. You said it's something like that, and it's so true.
Oh, that's so beautiful. And thank you. Thank you for sharing your journey. The the challenging childhood that you went through has brought such a gift to the world through your experience, through your book and Jazianza. Um, so which is for anyone listening, Becoming Strong is a book with the characters are bees, and it's a really beautiful book that walks you through really powerful mindfulness and breath practices that my girls and I did together as we read the book. And so highly recommend everyone getting this book. But yeah, so I love that you said that your grandfather was a big part of you really piquing your interest in nature. Yeah.
Yes, and I think that's a really important thing for people to understand because I really didn't even have that much contact with him, really, because I think he and my mom didn't have a great relationship. But he was a tailor by trade, but he was a naturalist. He had such a huge butterfly collection that he was actually in the New York, no, not New York. Um, um, what is there was island, Treasure Island, I think it's called, up in San Francisco. They had a World's Fair there back in I think it was 29. And he had his insect collection there.
Oh, wow.
And that was another thing. I mean, he showed me he had walking sticks bigger than my hand. He had tarantulas bigger than my hand and smaller than you could imagine. And so, but the thing that it was is that he had no idea how important he was in my life. And I think that's the thing that whether we're moms or grandmothers or just friends of little ones, that we have no idea the impact, even if it's just a short time, that we can have on children and on one another, but especially with children, because it changed my whole life. It gave me a solace. It gave me a curiosity that has just kept me forever. He gave me, and in fact, I started writing another children's book, and this time it's about the main character. Jazianza's in it, but the main character is a little monarch caterpillar because Zeta, which was what we used to call it, Zeta in Yiddish is grandfather. And so Zeta started us um, raising monarch caterpillars as children. And so uh, that's a deep part of my heart too. So, but I mean, even if we just take children out and say, watch this bee, or look at this little weed pushing through the concrete today, and let's come back in 3 days and look at the miracle of life. I mean, just even little things that can just open up children and
Yeah.
ourselves.
Yeah. And I mean, the impact that we can have on kids is so beautiful. And I feel that it comes the other way for me too. My children have such a big impact on me and reminding me the just the miracle that nature is. And I feel like they're very similar in spirit to you as a child.
Ah,
The oldest, she's just this really calm presence. And so
oh,
animals come to her and
oh,
bugs come to her. And so she'll catch like a fly will come land on her hand in the house and she'll walk it outside, And so
I
just
love that.
yeah, it's just so beautiful to see. And then my one of my other daughters, she's more connected to earth um and so she will find like hearts everywhere, heart rocks, heart, like they will just show up for her, heart
Oh,
leaves
wow.
and just in nature everywhere she finds. And I don't know, it just makes my heart so happy to watch them. And I
Yes,
learned so much and reconnected so much through just observing them, So
yes. And that you've all taken the time to be present
mm,
and to be with all those things, and you to be with them in that way and to acknowledge it instead of just like feeling like, I mean, even if you can feel I don't have time, but I'm going to be present with them with this. That's so beautiful and so important. I really admire that way to
oh,
go.
thank you. And yeah, it's definitely not perfect. There's days where I'm rushing past and they are reminding me to slow down. Um, but yeah, and as you were saying, like looking, like just noticing the little things in nature. And I'm looking this way because there's a window over here.
Yeah.
Um, I remember hearing Eckhart Tolle talk about not naming, not labeling things with your kids, because I think that's happened with me in a lot of ways for a lot of things, but I named it a tree. And so now I'm just like tree and I move on. And so just really
Yes.
being present with whatever it is and not having to label it, I think has been such a neat practice for me.
That's a beautiful practice
Mm.
that also leads into something else I was wanting to at least hint at in the book, and that is like Josianza, before I forget, Be Coming Strong, it's BEE dash coming strong for your listeners. Josianza doesn't go around labeling like you're saying. So she has all kinds of friends, whether it's butterfly or tree or an eventual what she thought was the most scary thing in the world, a hornet. And it's because her heart is open and she doesn't label. So there's not that sense of othering, which is so big in our society and really around the world. And if children, as from being young, can cut through that with the help of parents to just, okay, that person does not look like us. It doesn't mean they're other. They're different. We're different. We're not the same as we were even yesterday or last year, but we're all the same. We're all in the same mix. And so that was one of the things that I wanted to also try to get across too, that like at one point Jazzianza said, well, that's really something that she's just like me. She's a hornet, but she's just like me. That so I love that lack of labeling idea, that practice. It's beautiful, powerful, and important.
Do you feel overwhelmed and anxious? Do you wish you could stop losing your temper with your kids and just have more fun as a mom? Do you crave finding more time to do the things you love without feeling guilty? I get it, Mama. I've been there. That's why I created the Vibrant Mom Life membership. Imagine what life would look like if you could finally get out of survival mode, consistently find time for yourself, and be the calm, present mom you've always wanted to be. This membership will help you step out of anxiety and overwhelm and help you find time for yourself without the guilt. Inside Vibrant Mom Life, you'll find monthly themes that will help you shift your mindset, get out of survival mode, and find time for the things you love, all while being the mom you want to be. Plus, you'll find guided meditations and yoga practices that will help you effortlessly infuse your days with self-care. And I know that some days are harder than others, so you'll even find a library of short and sweet guided affirmations so you can simply press play and reconnect with your inner calm in just minutes. Join Vibrant Mom Life today by going to soulcaremom.com/membership so you can stop running on empty and truly enjoy mom life. I can't wait to welcome you inside, Mama.
Yeah, those themes definitely came across in your book as we were reading. Yeah. And so if there's a parent listening right now and they're like, I would love to begin to bring in more mindfulness, bring in some breath work, what's a good place that they could start? Can you point us in a direction?
Yes. In fact, if you allow me, I can read okay, Mama Queensy B is the one who teaches Jazianza a lot of the breathing practices. And so she teaches Jazianza, who's really upset one day because Jazianza gets bullied. She's got a corkscrew antenna and she has to wear big glasses because she couldn't see. And that's how her antenna got smushed because she flew into the side of the hive and couldn't see. And she came in crying, and Mama Queensy B is very wise. And so she said, okay, I want you to do something. So she has her, I wonder if I can even find it. She has her go to the corner of the hive and okay, I'm not going to find it. I'm just to explain it. She has her go to the corner of the hive and grab a little bit of pollen. And so Jazianza is the one who relates the entire, she is talking directly to the reader. So she says to the reader, you can go. So for your listeners, you can use like a toy, a stuffed toy, or a little rock, or a flower, or your hand even, and lay down, have your child lay down or you lay down and close your eyes and just put that little object on your belly. And then you close your eyes and you just breathe. And as you breathe in, your belly will go up and you can feel that little object rising. And as you breathe out, the belly will go down and then up. And so you breathe slowly. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can just do that for as long as you want. Many breaths, even a few breaths like that is going to really help. And then what happens is it directly brings you into the present. So all the fears, the worries, the what ifs, the wonderings, the naming of every object, all that goes away. And all we are is with the present, which is where all the power is, all the joy is, you know? And so then we take that feeling, we can feel it in our whole body, that feeling of calmness or joy or happiness or peace. And then we can just kind of bring it back into our whole body and tap, tap, tap all the way down. And then take a couple of deep inhalations and just let it go. And it's amazing how quickly calming it is. It shows the wisdom of the body, the eagerness of the whole being to want to be calm and to want to be centered. It's like our own personal toolkit that we can all have.
Absolutely. Oh, I love that. I definitely feel calm in just doing that right now with you. And yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
And so we were talking about, disconnecting from our devices and looking up and looking around us. And I've been more consciously trying to be aware of that, because it is really easy to get tethered to, oh, I need to look this up, or do I have a new message, or, all of these things. And so how can we begin to set the devices down and connect with nature if we're not familiar with how, if that's not part of our everyday?
Right. That's a really good question. There's all kinds of practices that people say, okay, if you just set your alarm and for 10 minutes, take off your shoes and walk in your backyard, walk in nature for 10 minutes. Because then you can feel like, okay, even if you're really rushed, okay, I'm going to do this for 10 minutes. I can do this for 10 minutes. And then if you set your little alarm on your device or whatever you want to use it for, just for 10 minutes, I'm going to forget everything else and just look at nature. Go out, walk on the earth, walk on the lawn, just look at a leaf and how incredible even a leaf is. Feel the bark on a tree. If you can just do that for 10 minutes a day, if that's too long, start with 5. It'll slowly seep into your system. And in those 5 minutes, oh my God, even just watch ants for 5 minutes. They're incredible creatures. So that's a real easy way to do it. And bring your children with you and get down on your hands and knees and look and watch and feel, smell what nature smells like, and if you're in a place if you're in a city where there's, you don't have that kind of access, then take a plant that you have growing in your house. For 10 minutes, just feel that plant, be with that plant, look at the veins, think about how it grew from nothing to where it is. Just think about the wonder of nature, how it's giving to us. It's giving us oxygen,
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, we have oak trees here, and
I love oaks.
yes, and it's just like I can't even fathom how the oak tree comes from this tiny acorn, that like this huge tree. Um, just mind-boggling. But yeah, it's incredible. It's a miracle, and there's so much to wonder about and to explore and to just be in awe of. Yeah.
Yes. And
Mm.
speaking of naming, so remember, so in the book, Tree, where
Mm.
I live, is an oak tree because I grew up with oak trees and I love oak trees. And trees, big message is just like you're saying, look, I used to be this little acorn. I grew from nothing. And now I am big enough to shade everyone, to give food, to give shelter. And I made it through all the storms. So just don't give up. Just, no matter how small and insignificant you are, no, we're meant to make it through everything. And that's a really important message that I wanted to get through too, that even though, like you were saying, okay, you took all those challenges from childhood and turn them into, that's the intention of our souls, to take all that stuff and turn us into better, stronger, more loving, more capable people. And it's there for all of us. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love that because and a bee is such a small little, creature on the earth. And I think a lot of times as children, I remember feeling kind of small, insignificant, not being able to make the decisions or, feeling heard sometimes. And um, so I think that's such a beautiful and empowering message for kids, for all of us, but especially for the children. Yeah.
I hope so.
Before we wrap up, I'd like to ask a quick favor. This is an independent podcast. It's produced, recorded, and marketed by me, so I would love your help. Please share this podcast with your friends. Post about it on social media. Tell your girlfriends over lunch. Share about it with the moms at the park or at your next PTA meeting or homeschool co-op meetup. And please take a moment to subscribe and to leave a 5-star review wherever you're listening. It will help more moms find and benefit from this work, and it will make my heart so happy.
I would love to hear, what does your self-care look like now? What do you enjoy doing, whether it's in nature or meditation or anything else? What does that look like for you these days?
Well, I have a spiritual practice that I do twice a day, meditate twice a day. I do yoga, postures many, many times a week, which has been really important for this vehicle. I spend time in nature just in my little backyard every day, and it fills me up. I walk and try to pay attention to, well, actually now because it's monarch butterfly season, I pay attention. It's kind of funny. I'm taking monarch caterpillars from bushes where there's no more food, and I'm taking them over to another bush where there's food, and then I get to watch them. All of a sudden they disappear, and then there's a chrysalis. So I try to pay attention to the small things. I just find a lot of joy in just as much as I can, I try to stay present. And as much as I can, I practice gratitude. I have a gratitude journal I write in every night that I've been doing for many years now. That is so helpful. I can feel how it's shifted my entire outlook on life. I think gratitude is so important. And if we can instill that in children, that from an early age to be present, to be grateful, wow. I mean, my life would have been totally different. But again, I had to go through what I got through to get to here, and I'm totally grateful for it all.
Yeah.
So grateful to have you to talk with because wow, you're beautiful. I mean, I've some of the podcasts of yours that I've listened to, your message is so strong and powerful and pure and loving. It's just I love knowing you're on the planet, shining your light.
Oh, I feel the same way about you. Thank you for being here. So, so grateful. And gratitude is such a powerful practice.
Yeah.
So I think we can see, like you were saying, it changes your perspective of your life, of the world, of yeah, of everything. And that's in that theme of like being connected. We're all connected. There is really no other. And I think when we practice gratitude, we can see that more. We can see how life and love and all of this is working for us.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, because it can be really easy to tell ourselves the opposite, and then that becomes our experience. So yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Yes. Thank you for asking. You ask really wonderful questions.
Thank you. This has been so, so lovely. One thing that I really love asking and hearing about is and I feel like for you, you've shared this through your book, but if you could go back to your childhood, if you could go back and tell her anything, if you could share with her something, what would you tell her?
I would tell her what Mama Queensy Bee told Jazianza. That was actually, I wonder if I can find that because that was actually the message that I wrote for my inner child. So Jazianza, this really I did write for my inner child. And it's to me, one of the most important messages in the book and in the world, because I think, well, I know so many, when people are angry and outbursts and all the vitriol you see in the news, people are hurting inside. People, whether they want to believe it or not, they don't feel like their lives are worth much. And so they are like spewing it all out. Okay. Okay, so Mama Queensy Bee could see from my droopy antennas that I wasn't really happy about going outside the way she wanted me to. So she took a break from laying eggs and had me come to a corner with her. She gently straightened out my antennas, well, one of them, because the other one always looks like a corkscrew. And she took a deep breath. She whispered, "You need to know that who you are matters. You are unique, unlike anyone else. Yes, you, our little Jazianza, small as you are, I promise you, your tiny buzzing life has meaning, just like our big friend tree, your new friend light a butterfly, and even the beautiful rainbow who can leave so quickly after flying across the sky." Mama QB looked at me with such love and continued, "Just think about it, Jazzy. Tree could never be like a butterfly. A rainbow could never be a flower. A leaf could never be a skunk. And you could never be Siziza," which is her sister that she was always wanting to be. Your job is just to be you. There's only one you in the whole world. That's why you are special, just you as you. That's why you shouldn't try to be like any of your sisters, even if they tease you for being different. You are you, Jazianza Azaza Buzzaby. You weren't born an acorn or a blade of grass. You weren't born a worm or a two-legged. You were born to be the best Jazianza Azaza Buzzaby that you can possibly be. She continued, "One last thing, Jazianza, even though you don't know it yet, you're tiny. Even though you don't know it yet, you are very strong inside yourself. You are an important part of everything. We all are. When you really know this, you will be much happier and you won't be afraid anymore. It will come in time. Okay, now go out and play while I go back to laying eggs." That I wrote for me and for all children across the planet, because I think we all need to know that as adults too.
I definitely needed to hear that. That was perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, this has been really beautiful. Thank you so, so much for being here. And can you share with us, where can we connect with you? Where can we get your book?
Yes. So my book is on Amazon under BEE-Coming Strong. I also have a newsletter that comes out once a month. I would love for people to sign up for. And in fact, the first 10 people that sign up for it from your podcast, I'll send them a free PDF of the book. And my newsletter, it only comes out once a month generally. It's not long, it's not tedious. It's about all things bees or intrinsic values, and it has, things that children can do with crafts and things. It's about all kinds of things. And so you can go to my newsletter, go to my website, which is anandamayibaker.com, and you're probably going to have to put that on this podcast, how to spell my name, ANANDAMAYI Baker.com. And then you can sign up for my newsletter. But again, the first 10 people, I'll send you a PDF for free just for signing up.
I love that. Yes, we'll put the links everywhere so people can
Thank
get
you.
to you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. Yeah.
Thank you for having me. It's been a complete joy. I'm not kidding. You're a totally kindred soul, and I could go on talking with you for days. It's wonderful.
Yes, this has been, yeah, thank you. This has been such a joy. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Hi, love. This is just a reminder that Soul Care Mom offers information that's shared with love and intended for educational and inspirational purposes only. You should not rely on this information as a substitute for medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. If you have any concerns or questions about your health, you should always consult with a trusted healthcare provider. Thank you for being here, and know that I am sending you so much love. Thanks for joining me, Mama. I'm over here smiling from ear to ear and giving you a big virtual hug. I love spending this time with you. You are amazing for showing up and carving out this space to nourish your soul. If you are loving the Soul Care Mom podcast, be sure to subscribe and leave a review. And if you are ready to start your mornings feeling calm and energized, get the Kickstart Your Calm Morning Guide, a self-care morning ritual for moms, as a free gift when you join the Soul Care Mom community. Head over to soulcaremom.com/kickstart and enter your email address to get your free gift and start feeling like a calm mom today. Sending you so much love, Mama.